This is Style Shifter. In the next hour, we will journey into the past, present, and future of personal fashion decisions. My name is Daria, and every week, you and I will embark on a time machine that operates on self-awareness and stylistic solutions. Our destination? A place from which you can shift from style insecurities towards more confident fashion choices. Today's topic is especially close to my heart because it's about something that influences every single decision we make: money. And my own relationship with fashion budgeting has quite a story. I used to be terrible at budgeting for clothes. Before I developed the Wonder Wardrobe method, I wasted so much money on impulsive purchases. Back when I was trying to be a fashion influencer, I know, and was posting my daily outfits on Instagram, I found myself caught in a cycle, always chasing newness, buying cheap, trendy items that barely lasted a season. I thought I was building a stylish wardrobe, but really, I was just throwing money away. At the same time, I was working as a personal shopper. My first question to every client was always, "What's your budget and what items do you actually need?" I took a very practical approach, breaking down that budget across the number of pieces we were looking for. And this method helped set clear price limits for each item, which in turn guided where we should shop. This simple structure made such a difference. Clients stopped overspending on unnecessary pieces and started making intentional, balanced purchases that worked together. But for some reason, I hadn't yet applied this strategy to my own wardrobe. I was still chasing trends, getting caught up in the excitement of newness without really thinking about whether my purchases made sense. Once I started using the same budgeting approach on myself, everything changed. Instead of randomly adding items to my wardrobe, I began planning ahead, focusing on cost per wear, and ensuring each new piece actually fit into my existing outfits. And that's when I realized spending strategically saves you money, gives you more outfit options, and gives you more time to do other things you love besides shopping. Today, I want to share how you can do the same. We will dive into my practical system for planning seasonal purchases and why it works better than monthly budgeting, how to know exactly what each piece in your wardrobe is worth, both in money and outfit potential, and the strategy I use to build a wardrobe full of pieces I actually wear without constantly shopping. The best part? This isn't about restricting yourself or settling for boring basics. It's about shopping smarter so you can have the stylish, versatile wardrobe you want without the stress or waste. Let's dive in. Before implementing the Wonder Wardrobe method, I had no budgeting system at all. I would just get my salary and go shopping. You know, that moment when you are checking your bank account near the end of the month, wondering if you can make it to payday, while wearing your brand new, it was just 40 euros outfit times 5. Yeah, we probably all have been there, done that, and probably posted it on Instagram. At least I did. But let me show you how seasonal budgeting transformed my approach. It's February right now, the end of winter season, and I have a perfect example of how this works. Last year, I moved from Lisbon to Bucharest. And let me tell you about my genius winter wardrobe situation. I realized I had only 2 cotton sweaters, no winter jacket, no hats, no gloves, no boots, because apparently I thought positive thinking would be enough to keep me warm in Romanian winter. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. So there I was, facing my first Romanian winter, realizing I needed 15 new items. 15! So here's what I actually did. Fair warning, this wisdom comes from years of doing everything wrong first. In your first year of Wonder Wardrobe, you calculate your budget before and after each season. Let me break it down into 3 simple steps. Step 1. Before the season starts, write down what's missing. Step 2. If you have the money, assign a budget. If not, this becomes next year's budget. Step 3. At the end of the season, review and adjust. Think of it as meal planning, but instead of what's for dinner, it's what's for wearing. And just like meal planning, yes, sometimes you will still end up ordering takeout. I mean, buying something unplanned. We are all human here, but in general, the system works pretty well. Now that I've been using this method for over 9 years, I do this budget revision only once, at the end of each season. Just a few days ago, I reviewed my winter capsule, the current winter capsule, and prepare yourself. I realized I will not need anything new for next winter. I know, who even am I anymore? Certainly not the girl who used to convince herself she needed a new top for every Instagram post. And to be honest, this happens very often now that I can go on for months without needing to buy any fashion items. Once I even had a whole year. And it wasn't that I had forced myself and did a no-buy-year challenge. I just simply knew I had enough and it felt great. Then I also checked my spring capsule notes from last year, where I had written that I would need to add 1 pair of lightweight trousers and a skirt. And because I planned ahead, I've already saved up for these pieces. That's why seasonal budgeting is so much better than monthly budgeting. Instead of feeling like you need to buy something every month, you focus on shopping with purpose a few times a year. Of course, life isn't always predictable. Sometimes I don't have the budget I thought I would. So I adjust, looking at second-hand options or sales, or just try to deal with it and just wear what I already have. Other times I realize I don't actually need what I thought I did, and that money can go toward something else instead. But before you start thinking, okay, Daria, this sounds great, but how do I figure out what I actually need? Take a moment and think about the last time you bought something you didn't really need. Got it? Hold on to that thought, because in the next section, I will help you avoid making that mistake again. Let me show you my favorite part of this whole process. The second game changer is what I call the missing pieces test. You know those mornings when you are staring at your wardrobe thinking, I have nothing to wear? Well, usually what we actually mean is I have nothing that goes together. Here is what you do. Keep a note on your phone for those I wish I had moments. And I mean the real ones, not the I wish I had that sparkly dress I saw on Instagram moments, but the I wish I had a proper pair of trousers that actually fit moments. Trust me, I learned the difference between these two the hard way. Like last spring, I kept trying to create outfits and realized I was always missing a lightweight pair of trousers. Because I wrote it down instead of panic shopping, I could actually plan for it and think through the exact style, color, and what I will wear it with. And now for my absolute favorite, the Outfit Multiplier Rule. Before adding anything new, it needs to work with at least 5 other pieces in your wardrobe. And when I say 5 pieces, I mean tops, bottoms, or jackets, the core elements of an outfit. And here's where most women go wrong. An outfit isn't just clothes. It needs shoes and a bag to feel complete. Think of it like baking a cake. Technically, you can have just the base, but without frosting, something is missing. So, when you are applying the outfit multiplier rule, don't just think about the main clothing items. Make sure you have the right shoes and bag to actually make the outfit work. Ideally, that new piece should go with all your tops or bottoms. That's the dream scenario. But when you are just starting out, 5 is a good number to aim for. Think about it. One new pair of trousers that goes with 5 tops instantly gives you 5 new outfits. Add the right shoes and bag and boom, you've got real wearable looks. Let me tell you about my bright yellow blazer incident. I got it last year. It's vintage. It's gorgeous. I convinced myself I would wear it all the time. I mean, yellow goes with everything, right? Wrong. So very wrong. It ended up being the loneliest piece in my wardrobe. Like that person at a party who doesn't know anyone and just stands in the corner. Now, I still keep this blazer because it does work with a few outfits. But here's where I got smarter. When I'm adding something new, like that pair of trousers I've been eyeing, I make sure it works not just with my tops, but also with this yellow blazer. This way, one new piece can create at least 10 new outfits. And that's what I call smart shopping. Just yesterday, I was reading this fascinating thread in the Wonder Wardrobe app started by Megan. She shared her shopping thoughts for 2024, reviewing her wardrobe decisions. And what really caught my attention was her list of items she didn't buy. And when another member calculated the total, it came to over 62,000 euros. 62,000! Now that's what I call successful non-shopping. And more importantly, she noted that not a single one of those avoided purchases left her with any regrets. Why? Because she had learned to recognize what would actually work in her wardrobe versus what just looked good in the moment. But here's where it gets really interesting, and this is something I've noticed across many Wonder Wardrobe member stories. The more thoughtful they become about their wardrobe choices, the more their relationship with shopping changes completely. Instead of that constant urge to buy something new, you actually look forward to wearing what you already own. And this brings us to something really crucial. How to maintain this mindset once you've developed it. Because let's be honest, we all know what it's like to fall back into old habits. I have a quick favor to ask. If you are enjoying these conversations about style, self-discovery, and feeling beautiful in your own way, would you take a moment to rate and review the Style Shifter podcast? Your review helps other women find our community and join these important conversations. Plus, hearing your thoughts helps me create episodes that really matter to you. It only takes a minute, but it makes a huge difference. Even when we know our wardrobe is functional, even when we have a clear plan, there is still that urge to shop. Recently, one of our Wonder Wardrobe members shared something that hit home for so many of us. Megan said, "I never had a shopping addiction, but I've often fallen prey to a bargain and been later disappointed." Sound familiar? Because I've been there too. I've bought things just because they were on sale, convinced myself I would wear them all the time, and then they just sat in my closet almost untouched. And Jolie, another Wonder Wardrobe member, put it perfectly when she described online shopping as this endless rabbit hole. "I feel that if I just keep looking, I will find what I want because the choice seems infinite. Except fashion means there are often just endless variations on the same themes." That's the trap, right? The feeling that there is always something better out there, that if you just keep scrolling, you will finally find the perfect piece that will magically transform your style. But here's the truth. Shopping will not solve a wardrobe that doesn't work. The Wonder Wardrobe method will. When your wardrobe is cohesive, intentional, and built around pieces that actually work together, the need to shop fades because suddenly you don't feel like you are missing anything. That's where the real style confidence comes from. Now, knowing this is one thing, breaking old habits, that's another. So, here's what I do when I feel that urge to shop. First is what I call the 24-hour pause rule. I screenshot the item and wait 24 hours before making a decision. Then I ask myself, would I still want this if it weren't on sale? Does it fit seamlessly into my wardrobe? Or do I need to buy other things to make it work? Do I already own something similar that I'm ignoring? Most of the time, that initial urge to buy fades, and I realize I didn't actually need it. The second trick I have is that instead of impulse buying, I keep a curated wish list. Things I've thought about for weeks or months, not just something I saw in an ad. Jolie mentioned that her favorite items are almost always the ones she bought in person after thinking them through. That's because when you take your time, you choose better. And finally, it's very important to identify your shopping triggers. For me, shopping used to be a mood boost. Bad day, I would scroll through sales. Feeling uninspired, I would convince myself I needed a new look. Seeing fashion influencers, and suddenly my wardrobe felt super boring. The game changer was realizing that shopping wasn't the solution. It was the distraction. So now, instead of shopping when I'm bored, I restyle what I already have. And that leads us perfectly into our next topic. How do we keep our wardrobe feeling fresh and exciting without constantly buying more? Because sometimes it's not about needing more, it's about seeing what you have in a new way. I used to keep everything in my closet at once. Summer dresses next to winter coats, lightweight tops mixed with chunky sweaters. And do you know what happened? I got bored of my wardrobe way faster. Because when you see everything all the time, nothing feels exciting. Now I store away out of season clothes and only bring them back when I actually need them. And every time I do it, it feels like I'm rediscovering my wardrobe all over again. That's why I recommend rotating your wardrobe at least 4 times a year. Not just to make space, but to create that shopping your closet effect. And even if you don't live somewhere with clear seasons, this method still works. You can rotate based on lifestyle shifts, lifestyle demands. Instead, it doesn't have to make sense only for the weather. Keeping part of your wardrobe out of sight reduces visual clutter and helps you actually enjoy what you have. When I switch from winter to spring, I don't just unpack my stored clothes. I take a moment to go through everything, check what I actually love, and see if there are any gaps I might need to fill. And most of the time, I realize I need a lot less than I thought. Now, seasonal rotation is great for keeping things exciting, but there is something even simpler that can completely change how you feel about your clothes, and that is weekly wardrobe refreshing. Unlike a deep seasonal switch, this is about the little things you do every week to make your wardrobe feel fresh. It's simple when you give it some thought. New clothes always feel exciting because they are well presented, steamed, clean, and styled nicely in stores. Meanwhile, a chunk of our wardrobe sits overlooked. Some pieces get worn too much, while others are forgotten. That's why I take a little time each week to steam and iron my pieces, shift things around. For example, if I've worn something too much, I move it a little further back in my closet. And if there is something I've been ignoring, I bring it forward where I can see it. And also, I like to reorganize and fold anything that's starting to feel cluttered. And this doesn't take long. Maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes a week, especially if you have a small functional wardrobe. And the best part? It makes getting dressed feel effortless because everything is ready to wear, looking its best. I challenge you to try this for just 1 week. Pick 3 items from your wardrobe that you've been ignoring. Clean them, steam them, place them where you can see them, and wear them. I promise it will feel like you just went shopping. A wardrobe doesn't have to be constantly updated to feel exciting. When you take care of what you already own, when you rotate seasonally, refresh weekly, and style intentionally, you create a wardrobe that doesn't just look good, it feels good to wear. And at the end of the day, that's what truly matters. Alright, it's time for our Q&A segment. Now, usually this is where I would play one of your voice messages. But this week, all the questions I received were text-based. And that's totally fine. Let me read you some of them. But if you have a style question, recording it makes this segment so much more engaging. And I think we all love hearing different perspectives. So next time, don't be shy, just hit record at wonder-wardrobe.com/ask and I will answer them right here on the next episode. Okay, let's dive into the first question that comes from Monica Jim 2506 and she asks, when you give yourself a monthly budget for clothes, do you separate between wants and needs? I use an app for budgeting and every month I allocate a small amount of my salary for clothes because I have other priorities now. The idea was not to spend it every month, so the money could build up to a higher amount after a few months. Then I would use it to buy higher quality pieces that I want simply because they are beautiful. But sometimes I struggle with knowing where to draw the line between wants and needs. Such a great question because honestly, this is something even experienced shoppers struggle with. Here's how I look at it. Needs are the pieces that fill a functional gap in your wardrobe, things that allow you to wear what you already own more effectively. Wants are things you desire simply because they are beautiful, trendy, or, I don't know, exciting. But that doesn't mean wants are bad. And actually, needs and wants should overlap. For example, let's say you need a blouse. That doesn't mean it has to be a super basic, boring one. Why not get a blouse you actually want? One that fits your style, excites you, and makes you happy to wear it. The way I approach it is I make sure I get all my needs first before allowing myself to buy things that are purely wants. And when I do shop for needs, I choose the most beautiful, exciting version of that piece. So I don't feel like I'm sacrificing style to be practical. That way, instead of just focusing on usefulness, I'm filling my wardrobe with pieces that I really love and enjoy wearing. So I hope this helps. The next question comes from Sonia Brovatsky, 8295. And she asks, how to know in advance? I often can show you my most loved items a while after I bought them. I cannot always tell in advance, and then I plan to pay more for them. Sometimes it works, sometimes not, although I thought about it a lot. Oh, this one hits home because really, sometimes you don't know until you start wearing it. But over the years, I've noticed two things that usually tell me right away if something will become a favorite. First, I trust past patterns. So if I've constantly loved certain colors, cuts, or fabrics before, chances are I will keep loving them. And then there is the excitement test. So when I try something on for the first time, I know it's right if I instantly feel excited. I start posing in the mirror, my posture changes, I feel good in it. But if I put something on and hesitate, and if I stand there thinking like, I don't know, it feels a bit weird, then I already know it's not going to work. That feeling never magically changes after buying. So now when I try something and I get that instant energy boost, I trust it. And if I don't, I leave it behind. So yeah, just give it a try and let me know how it goes. The next question comes from Leah, and she wrote, there is a time limit between taking conscious decisions and still having the given pieces available by the end of the decision. Because yes, there are many times when someone else can buy it before you, even in thrift stores. So my question would be, how can we make conscious decisions quicker? This is such an interesting one because shopping quickly and consciously almost sounds like a contradiction, right? But it's possible, and it all comes down to one key thing. Stick to your style. If an item doesn't fit into your wardrobe, walk away. Even if it's a good deal, even if it's trendy, even if it's slightly different from what you own. That doesn't mean you always have to play it safe. Sometimes shopping consciously means adding diversity to your wardrobe. For example, if you already have a pair of blue jeans, buying another pair in the exact same wash and cut makes no sense. But if you find a different color or silhouette, then that expands your outfit options. Then it's worth considering. And also, it's okay to take time to think. If an item sells out while you are deciding, then whatever, it wasn't meant to be. Instead of obsessing over it, move on and find something similar. There is always going to be another great piece out there. And I hope you will find yours. Thank you to Monica, Sonia, and Leah for such thoughtful questions. And if you have a style dilemma of your own, send it my way. Like I mentioned earlier, you can record your question at wonder-wardrobe.com/ask. I would love to feature your voice in an upcoming episode. Today we unraveled some of the biggest challenges around budgeting, shopping intentionally, and keeping our wardrobes fresh without constantly chasing something new. What stood out most to me in this conversation is that shopping less isn't about restriction. It's about freedom. The freedom to choose wisely, to invest in what truly works for you, and to step away from the cycle of impulse buys and style frustration. And because when your wardrobe actually works for you, you don't feel like you are missing something. You feel confident, prepared, and in control. If you take away just one thing from today's episode, let it be this. Shopping should be a choice, not a habit. The best wardrobes aren't built overnight. They evolve with intention, with time, and with you. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. In the Wonder Wardrobe app, we have budgeting exercising, shopping strategies, outfit inspos, and brand guides to help you make smarter, more intentional choices. And the best part? The community. So often I see members posting about items they are considering buying, asking for feedback, checking if it really fits their wardrobe before committing. Or someone shares what they are looking for, and other members help them find the best version of it. It's an incredible space to shop smarter, get support, and make sure every new piece actually adds value to your wardrobe. So if you haven't joined yet, come be part of it. It's free to explore. As always, I'm Daria, your sustainable guide into the world of style shifting. See you on our next styling adventure.